Hello, dear parents. If you're parenting a child with a trauma background, then you have likely seen behaviors that don't respond to logic, structure, or even love the way you'd expect. Today we're talking about something essential in trauma-informed parenting, and it's something called felt safety. I talk about it a lot. And we're going to talk about felt safety and also how to create more of it in your home to have more peace, connection, calm with your child. Now, this felt safety isn't just about safety from danger, physical danger. It's about helping your child feel safe in their nervous system so they can connect, they can calm down, and they can grow. I also prepared a worksheet on this topic, which you can find in the link in the description box below. Before we dive in, if you're new here, welcome. My name is CaRE&CO. I help Christian adoptive parents navigate the post-adoption season with faith, neuroscience, and connection to move through the trauma, stress, and overwhelm to a nurturing home, healing connections, and to walk in the grace and wisdom God provides. And in this channel, I share gentle encouragement, faith-filled wisdom, and trauma-informed tools for adoptive parents walking this real, hard, and beautiful journey of parenting. So let's begin. As usual, I hope you have your tea, your coffee, and you can spend some minutes with me as we discuss this felt safety. So let's start first. What is felt safety? Felt safety is not the same as being safe. It's a term actually used to describe whether our nervous system, so not the logic part of the brain, believes we are safe right now. It's not about whether your child is in danger. It's about whether their body and brain sense danger. Even if you're offering comfort, love, and stability, their nervous system can still sense danger. As a parent, this can be incredibly frustrating. You're pouring everything in and your child still acts out, shuts down, or pushes you away. And here is what's really going on. So we're going to discuss this. It's a concept. It's called neuroception. It's a concept devised by Dr. Stephen Porges. And it explains a process deep in the brain. It's kind of like an ongoing subconscious security scanner that's always running in the background. It's checking for safety and threats. And your child's nervous system is scanning constantly for safety or danger in three areas mainly. So the first is inside our body. And it's kind of like maybe hunger, maybe pain, maybe racing heart. And your body is weighing, is this safe or is this a threat to my body? The other area could be the environment. So again, the noise, the sensory, the chaos, the places, familiar, unfamiliar, and it's constantly scanning. The next one is the between them and you. So their body is always scanning your relationship, your tone of voice, your posture, your facial expression, your emotional state, and it's constantly, scanning. And here is the tricky part, that neuroception doesn't just read what you say. It reads your energy, even if you say you're safe, but your nervous system is in fight or flight, the brain picks that up. It's asking, like the child's brain is asking, are you really with me? Do you really see me? And then their behaviors come out depending on if it's a safe or if it's a threat. Now, sometimes, and it's mainly due to trauma, a person's body and brain detect threat when the person is actually safe. It's this blending of the past with the present, and the body and brain is kind of like confused as to what is past and what is present. But it will still feel threatened and unsafe, as if the person is unsafe now in the moment, even though person is currently physically safe, out of an unsafe situation that maybe happened in the past, but the body is not detecting that. And sometimes it can also happen the other way around, actually, where the body and the brain detect safety when there is actually risk. Now, Dr. Porges calls this a faulty neuroception. So when things are not, if for example, I'm in danger and my body is signaling threat, it is neuroception. But when it's the other way around, there is no danger, physical danger that I can perceive as a parent, but to my child there is that threat, that danger that their body is perceiving, then that is a faulty neuroception. As a recap, here's the neuroscience about this. So when a child's nervous system is dysregulated, their part of the brain, which we call amygdala, survival brain, is scanning all the time for danger. So it's like going, scanning. Now, during this time, logical reasoning and behavior charts won't reach them in this state. And what happens, what they need is they need felt safety, because felt safety actually helps to shift the brain back into the calm, regulated state, where learning, connection, and empathy is possible in that case. Let us see when safety isn't felt, what happens to your child. So if your child doesn't feel safe, their brain switches into protection mode. And protection mode doesn't look like obedience or gratitude, but instead it looks like behaviors like lying, stealing, explosive rage or aggression, emotional shutdown, controlling behaviors, constant testing and hypervigilance. Can also be addictions such as screens and substances, or things like a decrease in healthy sleep, nutrition, healthy boundaries, activities. You might see an increase in those. And again, this isn't defiance, but it's actually survival. And another thing about this is that it's also contagious. So when your child's nervous system ramps up, your body does too, your nervous system does too. So everyone's energy escalates until it explodes. And no one knows how you got there. Like if you try and backtrack and see what happened before, it's kind of like all this energy happening, you're feeding off each other until it escalates and it explodes. Now, when a child does feel safe, even for moments, you may see calm, softening tone, they're playful, curiosity or openness is more evident, there's a little bit more trust, maybe not complete trust, but there's a little bit more trust. And you notice this. So creating felt safety isn't a one-time fix. It's something we build moment by moment with our presence. Also, something as a reminder, as a side note about behaviors, which is quite important to understand. So the behaviors are what you can visually see. We often talk about this iceberg thing. So above the iceberg that we see above the water level is the behaviors that we see. And we go off the premise that if a child can do well, they do well. But your focus is on analyzing, being curious about what's happening underneath this iceberg, underneath your child, the things that you do not see. And this is their nervous system, their brain, their senses, so what's happening, what's going on underneath. So remembering that behaviors are the body's response to stressful situations, trauma, and are often not intentional, but they are the child's way to cope with a difficult situation, perceived or not perceived. If the child had more effective coping skills, they would use them. So generally speaking, instead of focusing on eliminating these behaviors, you need to provide children with signals of safety. And again, it's personalized to their nervous systems that allow social engagement behaviors to emerge spontaneously. Now, in the next step, we're going to discuss how to create felt safety at home. And we're going to go over 7 practical ways that you can help your child feel safe, even if they're not saying it aloud. So the first one is, and this is such a huge one, and it's about regulating yourself first. Imagine that you are the thermostat in your home, if you are stuck in fight, flight, freeze, your child will stay stuck too. So you need to do some work on yourself. You need to get yourself regulated first before doing anything else. Now, here are some examples that maybe you can use. So, for example, long exhales. So you breathe in on count of 4 and you exhale out for 8. So longer exhale. Another big thing is movement. Just walk around, stretch, just some kind of movement. If you have time, you can take a sensory break, maybe lower the lights, soften sounds, and just have, it could be just 2 minutes. It doesn't have to be, 30 minutes. Technically, we need 30 minutes, but, just a 2-minute break is just enough so that it works that magic on your nervous system. Another thing that actually works is singing or even humming. It changes the brain. It shifts shifts the brain's thinking part. So singing or humming. You can also do, for example, sip cold water or eat something crunchy. You can even step outside if it's safe to do, like on the balcony, on a porch, and there's cold air coming into your face. It kind of like will regulate you a little bit. Then you can ask yourself, what do I need right now to feel safe? So it's about your own safety as well. You can whisper a calming verse to yourself. For example, John 12:27 says, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you." And just sit with that and just breathe in that and just believe it and just absorb yourself in that verse. Another thing to remember is that co-regulation is not about being perfect. It's about bringing your body back to calm again and again and again and again. It's not about being perfect. It's about being human, and each time you dysregulate it, you bring back again to calm. The next step is meet your child with curiosity and not control. So instead of asking, for example, why are you doing this, or what's wrong with you, you can say, what does your body need right now? Or it seems like you're feeling scared, or are you feeling safe or scared? And asking. Another continuation to this is creating a plan with your child. So your child needs to start learning as well to understand their own body. So in a different time when everybody is calm, talking about this with your child. And some questions that you can ask, again, when things are calm is, what does your body feel like when you are upset? Or what helped your body calm down? What makes things feel too much for you? And you can also create a list together with your child, or a calm down box together, or a visual that your child will need in the moment. And slowly, you're going to start empowering your child to start recognizing when they're moving into this protection mode, so that they themselves start getting trained in this and using it themselves. It will take time, and that's okay. But again, those scaling questions. So if, for example, your child went from 10 minutes in protection mode to 9.5 minutes this time, then it's a big win, and we celebrate those. Number 4 is cue relational safety. So your body matters in the moment when there's kind of like this conflict, and your child, you feel like your child is being withdrawn, shutting themselves down, or all those behaviors. It's important to understand that your body matters more than your words sometimes. So try these signals of safety. So soften your tone of voice, relax your face, your tone, make it softer, and relax your shoulders. Sit beside them instead of in front of them, so that it doesn't feel so confrontational for them. You can also lower your body to their level so that you can have eye level with them. And just stay present even in the silence. And that's also, sometimes that's what they need. Sometimes their body is so dysregulated that they just need silence, but they need like someone who's regulated. In this case, it will be you who's regulated, and it will help to calm them down. So sometimes, like as human beings, we say like, you're tense and you're like this, and with clenched teeth and so on, and you'd say, I think I see you that you're not feeling safe here. And that activates them more. So trying to soften your face, relaxing and taking deep breath, and trying to match those those safeties. Now, I think we're number 5. So number 5 would be you're going to use predictability and structure. This is very important for children, especially children with trauma background. Routines are powerful for them. Post the schedule, give countdowns, signal transitions ahead of time, because what happens is that predictability helps their brain lower its guard, and they know what's happening so that there is not this this huge surprises. I know that another therapist recommends, for example, I don't know if there's always this that you always pick up your child from school and you go together to home, but if, for example, you can also show a wild card, say this is today's wild card because we're going to do things a little bit different. So instead of going back to home, there's an errand and I need to go and pick up something from the supermarket. So today is a wild card, but you would have discussed this wild card before so that your child will know that nothing comes as a surprise, because that can set them off, especially children with trauma histories who are have already fought a lot of unpredictability in their life. It can set them off and take them back to the past. Step number 6, so connect before you correct. Before you give a consequence, offer connection. I think you've heard about this one before. So for example, you're having a hard time, I'm here. I won't let you hurt me, but I won't leave you either. So that felt safety becomes the bridge back to regulation. And then once everybody's regulated, then you can do all the correction. The next one is to celebrate safe moments. So number 7, so celebrate safe moments. So when your child does show regulation, even if it's a small step, connection or repair, just celebrate it, celebrate this win. Even saying it out aloud, this feels like a moment of peace. I'm so glad we're here together. And it helps to anchor safety in their brain. It's giving them those cues of safety. And again, as a reminder that when your child is stuck in survival brain, they can't access logic, empathy, or impulse control. So repeating the same lecture 10 different ways, it's not going to land. So just do that regulation in the moment, regulate yourself, regulate your child, those cues of safety, and then you group again when things are calmer and you discuss what can be different next time. Or just even discussing what was happening to you, what were you noticing, and just discussing with your child. Now, final thoughts in here. So, and this is important as well. So you may be doing everything right, which goes everything by the book, and still feel like you're failing. You're not. This isn't about your parenting skill, it's about your child's nervous system. And guess what? God has designed our bodies and our brains to heal best through connection. So when you regulate you invite your child into healing. And it's one co-regulated moment at a time. Your tone, your eyes, your presence, these are the tools God has placed in your hands, and use them. And even if your child can't show it yet, your safety is shaping their story slowly and their healing. Now, if this video helped you, subscribe and share with another adoptive parent who needs hope today. And let me know in the comments as well what helps your child feel safe. Maybe start noticing this, or which of these ideas will you try this week? Don't forget the worksheet. It's in the description box below. It goes over trauma and gives you some strategies and some reflection on today's topic, the felt safety. And if you're feeling stuck in your parenting or overwhelmed by the behaviors of your child, check out my group coaching program. It's designed to help Christian parents to move from survival into reconnection, regulation, and renewed hope. Remember, you're not alone in this journey. I don't want you to feel alone in this journey because it can be too isolating. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next video. Bye.